So I hope you got from that it wasn't trivial. It wasn't like somebody just walked out and said, hey, make a network. I mean, there were forces, powerful forces, the telecom lobbyists, that did not want this to happen. And we will see these telecom lobbyists a couple times as we progress through this lecture. So Larry Smarr and the folks that made the supercomputers convinced Congress to authorize the giving of a grant to build the National Science Foundation's network. It was going to use the TCP/IP protocol that the ARPANET had built. It was supposed to be inclusive, at least for research academics, and it was, research universities we want to get them connected. And so our story now leads from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign to my university, the University of Michigan. Now, if you take a look at this ARPANET picture that was sort of right before, well, it's 1972, but if you look at all of the ARPANET pictures, there is a glaring omission, from my perspective, glaring omission on all of these. I wonder, why aren't we there? Well, there's a very good reason why the University of Michigan is not on any of the ARPANET pictures. And that's because we built our own network. We built a network using leased lines, a 3-node network between Michigan State University, University of Michigan, and Wayne State University. We were sharing each other's compute resources. We were using each other's computers interactively. We were playing online multi-user games. We called them Adventure. They were all based on text, but they were great fun, and they were great community building. We had chat forums. We had all kinds of things, and we used each other's software, and it was a cool little world. And the ARPANET wasn't seen by many as all that significant. It was kind of an experiment, right? It was a research project, and we were production. Merit was production, and ARPANET was research. So there you go, right? So there was actually a lot of these sort of like nascent networks out there, early days. And so the University of Michigan sort of never really was significantly involved in the ARPANET work. But the University of Michigan, being a large university, did want to get a supercomputer center. And because of some strategic blunders, as Doug Van Holling will soon explain to you, Michigan didn't get a supercomputer center. And so the idea is we would do what it was going to take to get the network, because that might be more fun. So Doug Van Holling at the time was the Chief Information Officer at the University of Michigan, having recently arrived from Carnegie Mellon University. And he was also the chief of the Merit Network, the network that connected our 3 schools. And so they figured that once they didn't get a supercomputer center, they better really pull out the stops so that they would get the NSFNet. And of course they did get the NSFNet, and Doug Van Holling was the principal investigator for the NSFNet starting in 1988. So let's let Doug Van Holling tell you the story, and I'll be back in a moment.